The Denver Nuggets are your 2023 NBA champions. Give them their praise.
Give it up for the boys. 2 claps and a Ric Flair.
They've earned it. It's been a long time coming. They won 94-89, won the series in 5, so we were one off. We were close. We were very close. We didn't expect Miami to play like absolute dog crap. But Nikola Jokic, 28, 16, and 4. Jamal Murray, 14, 8, and 8. And Michael Porter Jr. was 16 and 13. And as Steve told me before the show, a career high in playoff rebounds for Michael Porter Jr. Shout out to the Nuggets. On the Heat side, Jimmy, not Himmy, buckets. No, not even buckets. Jimmy, not Himmy, Butler. 21 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists. Numbers don't tell his story as always. And Bam, the Heat's actual best player in this series, 20 and 12. The Heat shot 34% from the floor to Denver's 45. And now, actually, I think this is more telling of how bad Miami played in terms of keeping up with Denver. So Miami shot a better 3-point percentage. They shot 33 or 31% better from the free throw line, and had Denver almost doubled the Heat's turnover amount.
Yeah, there was a point in time last night where the Denver Nuggets were 1 of 14 from 3-point range. So it's interesting.
So the Denver Nuggets are your champion. Nikola Jokic is your Finals MVP. And Nikola Jokic is also now the best player in the world. We're going to talk about him later in the show. For right now, I'd like to focus on the Miami Heat, as I always do. So, the Miami Heat went on an unprecedented run in the playoffs by beating the best player in the world, the Knicks, and a team in Boston that had just made the finals last year and who a lot of people, I think, maybe had going back or were one of the best teams in the East. We then go to the NBA Finals and play like we just came out of an AAU tournament. Jimmy Butler was being touted as one of the all-time great, not just this season, as one of the all-time great playoff performers. He then proceeds to have one of the most underwhelming superstar performances that I can think of. And I don't think I am being too hard or too harsh when I say that Jimmy Butler lost us the NBA Finals. Now, is it just because in the final few minutes of the game and in crucial possessions, he threw the ball away and made a careless youth league basketball error? No, that's not why. Is it because not once but twice with the game on the line or the lead on the line or a significant moment and he took a contested three-pointer that was just bad? No other way to put it. Is that why? No, that's not why. Jimmy Butler had 5 games to show me, the city of Miami, and the NBA world at large that you deserve to be where you're at and get the praise you were getting. You then proceeded to go backwards in your performance. And I don't think that if you play this series 10 times, I don't think Miami loses 8 times in a row. I just don't.
Agreed.
And I just don't think it's about, well, Denver was just better. When Miami was playing better than them, Denver still won. Now, I am not going to hold this against Jimmy into saying he can't do it, trade him. This is not the level of Embiid where it's like, nah, he doesn't have it. He clearly does. So I'm not going to hold this against him in the next season, but he will take 99.9% of the blame for this loss. Congrats to the Nuggets. You earned it. But the Heat also gave it away, and I think they still had a shot at winning if the Heat were to have shown up in that series, and they just didn't. So, like I said, I give Denver all the props in the world, but I think it was more Miami beating themselves than it was Denver winning.
you had made a point to me before the playoffs even started when we were looking at the matchups in the first round. And I said, oh, well, the Heat playing Milwaukee. And you said that's going to end in 5 and Milwaukee's going to win. And I said, you're probably right. But if there's any team in this first round that I'm like, man, they, on paper, like they always show up in the playoffs, it's that team. And you made a very impactful statement in that moment. You said, do you remember what you said to me?
I do not. This is a
you
while
said,
ago.
And I just wrote it down. You said, if the Heat were going to win, it was going to be on Jimmy's back. And I said, yeah, I agree. And you said, if the Heat are going to make a playoffs run, it's going to be on Jimmy's back. And then you said, matter of fact, if the Heat are going to win the finals, it's going to be on Jimmy's back. The Jimmy that we all talked about being the leader, being the superstar that was going to carry the Heat to the promised land, who needed to carry the Heat to the promised land. Because without Tyler Hero, which I still have absolutely no idea why they would come out and say that he's available, get everybody's hopes up to see him possibly come in and play, and then he just disappeared, but I guess that doesn't matter. But it just is he just disappeared. Jimmy Butler from the first round to the Eastern Conference Finals was not the Jimmy Butler that played in the finals. And I just don't know where it went. I don't know if the moment at that point was too big, because I don't believe that, because in 2020, Jimmy Butler dropped 2 30-point and one 30-point and 140-point triple-double in the finals, both in games where his team needed him to win. So I just don't know what happened to Jimmy Butler. But what I can say is that, switching gears, the Nuggets showed me a few things. The Nuggets may have the deepest team, top to bottom, in the NBA right now, as far as talent. The Nuggets have arguably the best second player in the league right now. I know there's a lot of things up for contention with that, but Jamal Murray proved a lot of things to the NBA world this playoffs. And the first thing he proved was that 2020 was not a fluke. I think Jamal Murray solidified himself as not only a star, but he's knocking on that superstar door. The Heat, it's no knock to you guys. There's nothing to be ashamed of for getting here and losing, but it's the way you lost. And that's what's going to stick with Heat fans for a while, is this was not the team that we thought would lose in the fashion that they did.
Yeah, and you brought up 2 points that I actually wanted to talk about, and I forgot. One was the Tyler Hero thing. I think.
What was that all about?
So there was a moment in the game where the Heat, it was the final seconds. The Heat were technically still alive. There was more than 10 seconds left, and Eric Spoelstra said, "Don't foul, like let him go." There was a lot of time left on the clock. And I think that's just recognizing when you're beat. I think Eric Spoelstra recognized he was beat, and had the thought of, do I want to throw Tyler Hero in Game 5 where we're going to lose anyway, and he hurts his hand again?
That's a good point.
So I just think Eric Spoelstra saw the writing on the wall and was like, yeah, we don't have it. I also wanted to mention what you said just at the end about making the finals. We do this to LeBron all the time. Well, not the sound, but other people. You are knocked for losing in the finals, but not for losing before the finals. We still made the finals, and he was the reason we did that. I was prepared to lose. I mean, I said on the show after the Eastern Conference Finals that Jimmy looks tired. Something's off. He doesn't have the look. It's a bad loss. It's all on Jimmy. His points per game, his rebounds, and his field goal percentage from the field and the three-point line all went down from the rest of the playoffs in these finals. I feel like it's sometimes unfair to just say, as you and I, two guys watching pro athletes, say, just play better, like just do better. But we've seen that he can do better. Like, this isn't who he is. So we're not asking too much or being unreasonable by just saying, hey, Jimmy, be Jimmy. Like, that's really what it comes down to.
No, that's fair. That's a very fair point.
Denver wins the series 4-1, 194-89 in Game 5. They are the 2023 NBA champions. Nikola Jokic is your 2023 Finals MVP. And we'll see what happens from there. Denver Nuggets are the first franchise win. Congratulations.
Listen to the sound. I listen to the sound.